What up, world? Nicholas Coriano here to give you the checklist on what you need for your Form 1023. I'm going to share my screen. This is for everybody out here forming a nonprofit. You want to make sure you cover these things. This is the latest version of the checklist. It's only 2 pages here, but pretty simple and straightforward. They want you to include the checklist. Just have that ready so you know when you're filing it. You're going to file this online. Now they only want you to file it on pay.gov. Form 1023. You're also going to need the power of attorney or declaration of representative. That's only if someone else is filing it for you and you gave someone the authority to file it for you, then you're going to need that. If not, don't worry about that. Form 8821, tax information authorization. Again, only if you're filing that information. If it's a new company, you're not going to need that. Expedited request, that's if you want it faster. If not, don't worry about it. And then we get to the meat and potatoes. You want the actual application form 1023 and schedules A through H as required. Now, for example, Schedule A is for churches, right? And Schedule B is, I think, for colleges, and it goes down from there. Don't quote me on after Schedule B, but they're all for different things if you're forming a nonprofit for different reasons, right? So you're not always going to need forms A through H. For example, like if you're a research company, you know, and you're very specific to research, you probably won't need schedules A through H, but you are going to need Form 1023, really basic questions on the form. And there's an instruction guide that can help you guys that you can download to the IRS, or I can do it for you. You can click the link below. The other thing you're going to need is your articles of organization. So you're going to need to form it. A small tip here. When you form your articles of organization, for most purposes, when people form an articles of a company, a lawyer, an attorney usually puts into the clause, every state, when you file it with the Secretary of State, it asks, what are you doing business for? And most lawyers or attorney have gotten into the habit of putting in for any legal purpose, which is totally legal. It's fine. It's how most businesses are formed in the United States. It basically says, look, for any legal purpose, this company can operate. So if you're selling candy one day and you decide to be a landscaper the next day, it's not a big deal. Now, with nonprofits specifically, the IRS likes to see articles of organization state a clear purpose to be a nonprofit. So let's say if you're going to create a school or a church, you know, the articles of organization state for the church of whatever, St. Mary's or St. Mark's, or, you know, or the college, the university of whatever, right? To teach kids this. So the purpose is very specified instead of broad. So keep that in mind when you are forming the LLC, the corporation. If you didn't, it's okay. You can put it in the bylaws, which comes up next. So then after the articles of organization, you got that when you filed with the Secretary of State. After that, you're going to have any amendments to the articles of organization or chronological order. This gets real cumbersome if you've already been established a long time. So that's why a lot of profits start an LLC or corporation and then just, you know, file for the 501(c) status. After that, you're going to do bylaws. You want bylaws. I have a copy of template bylaws on servitude.com. I'll put the link below. But you're going to need that in the bylaws. You're going to want to make sure to reiterate the purpose so you can have something to point to when you file this. And you're also going to want to make sure you include how you're going to elect your directors, because they want to know that. They want a clear indication of how you're going to elect these directors. And some people include a conflicts policy, right? So as long as your directors don't have any conflicts with, you know, what they're doing, they usually have, it could be a separate document or within the bylaws. So you're gonna have your bylaws. Documentation of non-discriminatory policy for schools. This is only for Schedule B. So if you're a school, you're gonna have to fill out Schedule B, and you're also gonna have, you know, your non-discriminatory policy. Form 5768, election revocation of election by eligible Section 501(c)(3) organization to make expenditures to influence legislator. This is legislature. This is what do they call it? Not think tanks, but people in DC that, you know, their whole purpose of the nonprofit is to influence legislation, to influence new tax laws. Lobbyists usually, that's the word, lobbyists usually fall into this, right? And then all other attachments, including explanations, financial data, and printed material. So this can go into, you know, sometimes you need, if you're a business already been established, you're gonna have to include your tax returns. For some of these things, they want explanations. So in Form 1023, there's some questions that they're gonna say, well, expand on this. So for example, one of them is the fundraising question. They wanna know how you're gonna do fundraising, and they give you all these examples. And then if you check any of them, which you're probably gonna check some of them, they want you to explain how you're going to go about doing it. So this is the other attachments. Then the user fee. This is antiquated. Now they have the user fee is online, so you can just do that online. You don't need to include that. They're going to ask for your credit card. And then employer identification number, pretty simple and straightforward. You get the employer identification number after you form a LLC. You have to go on to the IRS website and get an EIN number. It's a separate application. Remember, the companies are formed with the state. The EIN number and the Form 1023 are formed with the federal government. So it's two different entities, right? And then all the completed parts of the application, parts 1 through X1 of the application, including any requested materials, specific details about past, present, and planned activity that usually goes in the attachments that they ask for up here. Generalizations of failure to answer anything. This is just really a comment. Generalizations or failure to answer any questions on Form 1023 may prevent us from recognizing U.S. tax exempt. Basically means be specific about what you're doing. This is it again here. Describe your purposes and proposed activities in specific, easily understood terms. Again, don't get over it. So this one's saying basically don't be too broad, and this one's saying don't get too complicated, right? Make it simple enough for them to understand. Financial information should correspond with proposed activities. That means, don't tell me you want to build a school, in New York City, and you're only going to raise $1,000 a year, right? Or vice versa, somewhere else. And then the schedules, if you need them, yes or no. Exact copy of your complete articles of organization. This is probably going to come from your Secretary of State or your Secretary of State website. You should have got it when you formed the company. If not, you'll get it when you form the company. And absence of proper clause. This is again here. Absence of the proper purpose and dissolution clauses is the #1 reason for delays in issuance of determination letters. Again, the proper purpose meaning the articles of organization of your LLC or corporation should state exactly what you're trying to do as a nonprofit. And then the dissolution clause is just one of these things with nonprofits where the IRS says if the company dissolves, all that money and all the assets have to be given to another nonprofit. So they have to fall in the same range. So when you're putting together your bylaws, usually your bylaws, this is in your bylaws, you have a dissolution clause. And it says, if this company dissolves, this is what happens. Make sure that you're putting in, all the money needs to go to a nonprofit. If not, they're going to deny the nonprofit. Location, and then back here, right? They double down on it here. They tell us exactly where it is because we want to read it. That's how important this is, that it's in the checklist, right? Then the signature of the author, of course, or director or the directors. Your name on the application must be the same as your legal name, and that's it. And then you just submit it. They don't even accept the filings here anymore. They tell you to file it at pay.gov. So I hope that was helpful. That's the checklist for Form 1023. Keep it short, keep it simple. If you need me to do it, I can do it for you. Over 1,000 clients, went to business school, went to law school, and this is what I do for a living. I help you guys succeed. I hope you guys are great. I hope this was helpful. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If I get 500,000 likes on this video, I am going to form 10 nonprofits for free. 10 nonprofits for free. Just leave your name. Tell me I want in the comment section. Be very clear that you want me to form your nonprofit for free if this video hits 500,000 likes, and I will do that for you. Hope you guys are rocking. Be great. We'll talk soon, guys.